But of course, it goes without saying that underpinning all of that is an awful lot of hard work. That's the unseen bit. The same goes for all our other big activities, like the day trips, the exercise classes, the Sunday teas and the history talks. There's a huge amount of planning and preparation that goes on. We've got to set up rooms, organise getting people to and from, taking registers and money, inviting speakers and entertainers, all that sort of detail. And just because an activity seems smaller, there is of course still a large amount of preparation and thought going into it all. And again, we need to thank our colleagues and volunteers who lead these sessions. So again, if we can give a big clap to all these people after I've made mention of them, that's Deborah McCallion, Simon Ark, Geraldine Wall, volunteers Verna and Leah, Phil, David and Francis, who look after the snooker sessions, and the 12 volunteers who run the Tuesday group. Thank you. Thank you. Now, perhaps the most obvious unseen work, but probably the most vital, is that carried out by volunteers and staff doing those one-to-one home visits and giving support there. This is the core of our work, reaching and supporting those people with no family or very few local family members, and often it's the most challenging work that we do. It might come as a bit of a surprise, but 60% of our volunteers are actually under 65 years of age. Many are young people, either coming to university or getting a new job in the city. And they're not only wanting to do their bit for the community, but they're actively seeking ways of spending time in the company of older people because their families and their grandparents live far away. So it's easy to think that our client group is solely older people, but we see more and more how younger people might be feeling that bit isolated, and the charity is therefore playing its part in ensuring they feel welcomed into our neighbourhood. Now you can see around the room I've brought out these memory boards, and that was a new initiative this past year. So for those of you who are wondering what they are, they're boards dedicated to people who've passed away during the year. And it's been a way for all of us to record our thoughts and our thanks for what those people contributed to our lives and to the life of Chiltern Good Neighbours. So take a look afterwards if you'd like to. It's not morbid, it's very uplifting to read so many positive comments about people that we've all cared for. In terms of our effectiveness, how do we know we're being effective? What difference are we making? Firstly, you tell us through thank you notes, through donations, and by turning up. I'm pretty sure that if people didn't really enjoy an activity, they wouldn't come. Secondly, we get feedback from families and other colleagues and from everyone through questionnaires and focus groups. So do you recall last year, 25 members and volunteers met to discuss what was working well and potential areas of new activity? And recently, some of you have contributed to a SWOT analysis that Louise Kennedy, one of our new volunteers, facilitated, and that will help us focus on areas of weakness and ways to improve. But what is important here is that you, as local residents, keep telling us what you need and what you think might work. Now, Chiltern Good Neighbours may not be the appropriate forum for delivering those ideas, but we can at least feed it back into meetings with local councillors, at age-friendly networks, and the council funders. I said at the start I would mention how the organisation facilitates much more than what is immediately obvious. So what happens that is more than just us putting on services and activities? This is about bringing people together initially and increasing their confidence, and that hopefully inspires them to take things that bit further. So, for example, this past year I've heard about people going on holiday together or getting into small groups and going out on social evenings. You visit each other when you're in hospital. That's nothing that Chorlton Good Neighbours has organised, but which has happened because of bringing you all together in the first instance. A few of the Tuesday snooker group guys now meet an extra afternoon by themselves down at the snooker club. The Melodics organised to go singing at local residential homes. Volunteer Bob organised Mickey Mitchell's 100th birthday party for all her family and friends. And our connections with Oswald Road School and having the children in to sing at Christmas time has now led to Sue and Nuri and Betty going into the school to support their music and reading and art lessons. And who would have thought that a chance offer from a local playwright, Nakib Narat, who's here with us this morning, he came to last November's Chorlton Book Festival to talk about Charlie Peace. Who would have thought that his offer to run a few drama workshops has since led to a performance at home theatre in the city centre by 25 of our members. It was a great time. So you can see what I'm getting at. There's all this evidence that the organisation is often the springboard that leads people and groups of people to find their own resilience and interests and be their own assets within our local community. Moving on now to our new funding arrangements with the council, last December we were awarded a 3-year grant from the Our Manchester VCS grant team. And this is the first time I've known a grant to be given for that length of time. So at the moment, it seems like a real commitment and acknowledgement of the vital role that the voluntary sector has in supporting Manchester residents. So I think it's a good time here if we could thank all our volunteer trustees. You can see their names on the inside page of the booklet. These are people who are prepared to take on this important and vital role of governance. And of course, the reason it all works so well here is that many of our trustees are involved in the day-to-day running of the activities, the coffee mornings, the transport, being in the office, and it gives them all a much deeper insight into how the whole organisation operates. In terms of monitoring outcomes set by the council, we've decided that we're going to focus on 3 areas. The first is to help increase volunteering across the city. That's not a problem for us. Many residents in Chorlton and Whalley Range are keen to make a difference to their neighbourhood. The slight difference for us, the slight issue for us, is the group's capacity to ensure potential volunteers are placed really well so that best use is made of their time and skill. We've had over 50 inquiries about volunteering this past year, so it's a lot, and so far we've brought about half of those people onto our books. They've all been police checked and inducted. The second outcome we're going to focus on is to continue reducing loneliness and social isolation amongst older residents through supporting more people to engage with activities and services. So thinking about what younger older people, say 65 to 70-year-olds, might need, which might be very different from, say, someone with reducing mobility, frailty, and something slightly more complex going on. But we've seen plenty of evidence this past year of older people joining in one activity and then taking up other offers. So I know, for example, of one lady with no family who started coming to the coffee morning, but she now also comes on trips and has a volunteer who takes her out every few weeks to a park or for a walk together. The third outcome that we've agreed to is increasing opportunities for people to contribute to and take part in intergenerational, cultural and networking events. In terms of networking, myself, Bernard, Jenny and Angela have represented Chorlton Good Neighbours at age-friendly network meetings and neighbourhood meetings with our local GPs. And of course, our relationship with local colleagues, such as the Here to Help team, Eileen and Rita, our nurses, Jackie and Jonathan, the police community support officers, and other local council staff and councillors, these relationships all remain very fruitful and productive. Thank you to our part-time staff, Moira, Diane and Phil, for all their hard work. Especially to Hamish, Michael and Bernard for all their work on the finance and the website and helping me with any applications for funding, and to Michael's wife Cherie Schaefer, who spent a huge amount of time this past year updating all our policies and procedures. So thank you to those. And thank you especially to Councillor Sheila Newman. I know she's not here, she passed away earlier this year, but she was such a hard-working and engaging lady. She was a tremendous supporter of our work, and we do miss her very much, but thank her as we remember her. And finally, thank you to all the volunteers. Apologies if I've not been able to mention everyone individually, but we all know Chorlton Good Neighbours is a massive team effort. So let's keep working hard, be kind, be positive, keep communicating well amongst ourselves, and most importantly, let's enjoy each other's company whilst we can. So thanks for being here.